Now let us continue with this crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners. I have to vent. I just read something that infuriated me, and I know when I need to vent. And this happens all the time. I'll read a random comment and my blood boils. Heard a dog nut, say the traditional line, dogs are better than humans. And somebody responds, say, yeah, we can learn a lot from dogs. What can we learn from dogs? Specifically, what? How to be totally dependent? How to do nothing all day but eat, shit, bark, and sleep? Attack people? What can we learn from dogs? You have to press these people on these stupid comments. How to beg for food 24/7? How to eat beyond the point where we're full? How to be nothing more than a freeloader? Is that what we can learn from mutts? Obsessed out of our minds with food to the point that we will eat ourselves to death? Is that the example you're talking about? What exactly can humans learn from dogs? How to threaten everybody that walks by? Barking, lunging at people, random people? How to attack people for simply walking by on the sidewalk or riding a bike? According to experts, psychologists, dog behaviorists, dogs are unable to feel guilt. They can't feel remorse or empathy. It's impossible. It's been proven. The experts have established this. Dogs cannot feel guilt, remorse, or empathy. Period. I'm going to hope you dog nuts are able to accept that as fact. Now, is that what humans can learn from dogs? How to not feel guilt or remorse? How to not feel empathy? Are you aware that it is impossible to love someone if you're unable to feel guilt or empathy? Impossible. Guilt, empathy, remorse, those emotions are mandatory in order to experience love. If your husband or wife stabbed you multiple times and proved themselves to you that they did not care about what they had done to you, would you believe that they loved you? Right? They beat you up and say, you know what? I don't give a damn that you're in pain, but I still love you. Would you believe that person? How could I brutalize my mate or a loved one, not feel guilty about it, not sympathize with her pain, and still claim to love her? It would be in direct conflict with a dog's survival to be able to love, to feel guilt, to feel remorse, empathy. It is mandatory that predators are unable to feel sorry for their victims. So you can't claim that we can learn how to be loving. I know that's what you dog nuts are going to get to. Oh, they're loving. I wish I could push a button and all these dog nuts just vanish. Not only do dogs not have loving behavior, they are literally unable to love. Their behavior bears witness to that. Hostile creatures, hateful, demonic creatures, dangerous. Everybody who comes around them on high alert, right? They will send a group of adults into a panic if they are roaming off leash around a playground full of kids for a reason. That's not a loving animal. No other animal in our society lashes out in a rage of threats against random humans. Is that what can we learn from a creature like that? You telling me we should be more like dogs? What is wrong with these people? In what way? I want a real answer. You deranged, crazy ass dog nuts. You just insist on saying things like this. And you expect everybody to accept it and not question you on it. They're not loving or emotional. Are they productive? They sit inside your home. They do not pay any bills. They do not hunt or purchase their own food. Their existence depends on freeloading. How is that an example that humans need to follow? Dog nuts make the most asinine statements you will ever hear in your life. It's all psychological. These types of statements come directly from the pleasure owners get from using dogs to reinforce their social disorders. It has nothing to do with actually loving dogs at all. If they truly had respect for nature and loved dogs, they would not be able to own dogs at all. Because animals are designed to be free. Dog lovers basically enslave dogs. Right? The law calls dogs property. You get insurance on them, just like property. I owned a tarantula a long time ago. The guy at the store told me to feed it crickets. A couple months or so later, the tarantula is bigger, to the point where it could eat mice. First time I fed it a mouse was the last time I fed it at all. I was hit with this strong feeling of guilt. I had no business trying to govern that mouse's natural right to try to escape the tarantula. In nature, the mouse may have spotted the tarantula from a distance or simply gotten away somehow. Here I had the tarantula trapped inside my home in a container. Right, I purchased the mouse and released the mouse inside the enclosure. Didn't feel right. So out of respect for the natural order of things, I got rid of it. And I don't understand anybody who would not do the same if they truly had respect for nature and love dogs. If you love dogs, how could you keep them trapped inside your home? That, on top of trying to interact with a creature that you are not designed to interact with, might be a huge reason why dogs are full of anxiety. Right? These anxiety issues. You ever consider that they come from living arrangements that they are not designed for? You hear these dog shelter representatives and other dog nuts talk about how dogs need a home or deserve a home. Dogs are no more entitled to live in human beings' home than any other animal. What would it look like to see a deer and think, look at that homeless deer, a homeless duck? They call dogs homeless so often, people forget they're animals. Yes, they're mutated animals. And yes, I call them mutants. They're not natural animals, but they are non-human animals, mutated and all. They are designed physically and mentally to be free, to live in nature, not inside the homes of humans. So these people are really doing something that's immoral. I'll tell you what have we learned from dogs? We've learned that they have no business in our society, that they are toxic, that their presence impacts our society in several negative ways that far outweigh whatever pathetic service that 1 or 2% of all dogs provide. We'd be better off using other animals as service animals, but we really don't need to use animals at all. I don't say that as a vegan. I'm simply confident in the potential of human intelligence. Animals are designed to live out in the wild. They're designed to be free. Everything we've learned from dogs has to do with why they should not be allowed to exist in our society. From noise pollution, water pollution, illness, infections, worst of all, attacks. You hear people say that only a tiny percentage of dogs actually bite people. But they are using statistics from only 1 year. Right? They use annual statistic results. The accurate measure would be how many dogs attack over the duration of their lifetime. That's the real question. The dogs that did not attack in the year that your stats come from might attack the next year or some other year. So it would be inaccurate to say that only a small percentage of dogs attack based on yearly equations. The important question is, how many dogs actually attack during their lifetime? This is important because dog nuts put a lot of stock in this narrative. It is flawed. Dogs don't set examples for me. And I don't look up to dogs for emotional guidance, for intellectual guidance. If dogs are better than humans, as I've said before, take your asses to an island and live there with the dogs. And everybody who says this really deserves to be single for the rest of their life. You don't deserve a mate. Mate with your dogs, right? One dog dies, go get another one. Have intercourse with that dog the rest of your life. How could you get in a relationship with a person who believes dogs are better than humans when you know that that person is going to believe that their dog is better than you? Who wants to be in a relationship with somebody who puts them beneath their dog? Madness. So be on the lookout for these statements. And if possible, check these people when they say this. Because if you don't, they'll continue saying it over and over. And they will continue, maybe not even intentionally, to influence other people to say the same thing. You say something often enough, you start to actually believe it. That contributes to this dog nut culture as a whole. It helps to keep it alive. In every way possible, we need to debunk and call these people out on their utter insanity.